There's no one to translate from Hindi. If I speak in Hindi, people who want to speak in Hindi, want to listen in Hindi, will sit down here to listen. We are listening about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his life, how he made everybody absorbed in Prem during his life. So I am describing in a brief way the life of Mahaprabhu. In which way Mahaprabhu, there were two parts in his life. For 24 years he did this Grihastha Jivana, this life of Grihastha. And after that, his life as a renounced sannyasi Jivana. In this way, he's giving teaching to the souls of this world how we can live in this material world and also do Bhagavad Bhakti. There's only one goal in our life. How we can really do Bhakti in our life. As long as we don't do Bhagavad Bhajan, follow Bhakti and the rules, no translation. So in the life of Mahaprabhu, we can see that his lila is beyond human. No, Atimartha lila, beyond the human activities. Atimartha lila means this lila beyond human activities. When Bhagavan, when he does this lila as human being, he shows a lot of opulence also. It's not possible for a common person. And we see this also in Krishna Lila and in Rama Lila also. This is beyond the lila of a human being, when he manifests this opulence. Ati Manava Lila is the name of this, beyond, above human being activities. Now, Manav Lila, Madhurja Lila is when he does his pastimes as a human being. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a shloka that explains about Krishna. Krishna is a Kapat Manush. Kapat Manusha means he's not a human being, he's not a Manush. It is as like he's like by force pretending that he is a human being and doing these activities. Ati Manav Lila is the name of this. For example, all the demons that Krishna killed in Braj, even he didn't use any weapon, but Krishna he defeated all the demons, like Bhaktana, Trinavata, etc. All the demons of Vrindavan. Without using any weapon, Krishna defeated all of them.
और फिर देखा जाए कि कृष्ण मथुरा
And
से
also,
द्वारका आदि में जो लीला आदि हुई
we
उसमें
can
तो
see that
भगवान
after
ने
that,
कैसे
Krishna, he went to Mathura, Dwaraka, and there he used weapons. And with these weapons,
ये सब भी देखा
he defeated also many demons. We can see all this. This is all shown, explained to us.
वृंदावन में द्विभुज मुरली रूप में प्रकाशित होते हैं और मथुरा
Krishna manifests in Vrindavana with two arms and flute, in Dwaraka with 4 arms. And sometimes he has 2 arms and sometimes four arms. And in Mathura, he stays more time with 2 arms. But in Dwaraka, he stays more time. More time he has 4 arms in Dwaraka. So what I'm trying to say is that so this is like Atimanav Leela. This pastimes is beyond human pastimes. This because he manifests 4 arms. Also, when Krishna, for example, when he drinks the fire from the forest in his pastime in Vrindavan, and also when he lifted for 7 nights and 7 days the Govardhana hill, this is also Atimanav Lila. Also, when Krishna danced on Kaliya's hoods. This is also Atimanav Lila. This is not human Lila. This is beyond human Lila. Do you think it's possible for a human being to dance on Kaliya's hoods? So in Mathura and Vrindavana, in Dwaraka, Krishna does these pastimes above human beings. So in the life of Mahaprabhu, we can also observe that the way that he manifested these leelas also. But these leelas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those leelas he showed only for devotees, not for everybody. For example, in Navadvipa, in the Leela of Mahaprabhu, only for a few devotees Mahaprabhu showed his form of 4 arms. It was not for everybody. For example, he showed his form of 6 arms for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and also another person. He showed the form of 8 arms. Tatik Brahma. That Brahma that was cooking and Mahaprabhu went to eat, but he was a baby. The Brahmana was offering to the dead. I don't know the name. So Mahaprabhu manifested this form of 8 arms. So for different devotees, Mahaprabhu showed different forms. So he showed these forms for his devotees. Because Mahaprabhu is like a hidden avatar, is a hidden incarnation, Prachan avatar. Krishna took the microphone. With the microphone, Krishna told, you have to worship only me. But Mahaprabhu said, you have to worship Krishna. You have to do the way that I do. Very humble Mahaprabhu. He taught the jivas. And he destroyed the Advaitavadi philosophy, the monism. As long as we have this Mayavadi in our heart, this philosophy, Bhakti will never manifest in our heart. If our heart is contaminated by Mayavada, Bhakti Devi will not manifest in this heart. Therefore, through Prakashananda Sarasvati and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Mahaprabhu showed all this. What is Mayavadi? Tell me. Every day we talk about this, about Mayavadi. But they don't call themselves Mayavadis. Those people, we call them Mayavadis. But they call themselves, how? Advaitavadis. They give them this name. But we call them Mayavadis. But who is really is a real Mayavadi? Who is a Mayavadi? What is the meaning of Mayavadi? Those people that give more emphasis to Maya, they are Mayavadis. There are two Mayas, Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. Maya also means Kripa. Kripa. There are many meanings of Maya. Wherever we can see in this material world, whatever exists in this material world is Maya, is the illusion of Maya. And when Maya goes away, everybody will become Brahma. What Mayavadis say? What they say? Brahma Sat Jagat Mit. So there is only one truth, Brahma, Brahma Sattva. Jagat Mitya. It means that everything that we see in this material world is false. It's not true. Not true. Jiva Brahma. And Jiva, Jiva doesn't really exist. Jiva is Brahma. But how possible the Jiva know that he's Brahma? Because Brahma is covered by Maya. That's what. No, sorry. Brahma is covered by Maya. So he's thinking that he is Jiva. And when Maya goes away, so Brahma will understand, will see that he is really Brahma. So they take some situations in the Shastra that are favorable to what they think. For example, what Gurudev is saying now. Like a seed, like a, what's the name? Nos, like a seed. When you open it, there are two parts in this seed. Like a walnut, I think. So one Maya in the material world, everything is happening according to this material Maya. So in this way, they take many situations in the Shastra, in the scriptures. And the main mantra of them so this word Maya really it actually means kripa, mercy. And without the mercy of Lord, the soul cannot realize his swarupa, who he really is. So if you don't receive this mercy of Lord, like this shloka explains, in Brahma Stuti, Brahma says, "Oh Bhagavan, not everybody can understand this tattva. If this person, if the person does not receive the mercy of Lord, you cannot understand the Lord. So without your mercy, Lord, I cannot understand anything about you." Even if a person for a long time
उसके समझ में
is
नहीं आएगी।
learning
तत्व
Tattva Siddhanta, still this person cannot
उसका
understand
विशिष्ट तात्पर्य सिग्निफिकेंस हम कब समझेंगे?
the meaning
जब
of Tattva
हमारी कृपा
Siddhanta. How
पूरी
is it
होगी।
possible that we can understand?
इसलिए कहते हैं
When
ईश्वरे कृपाले
we will understand, when the mercy of Lord is,
पैतजारे ईश्वर तत्व से
you know,
जानिबारे पाए ईश्वरीय कृपाले है यहाँ चैतन्य चरितामृत भगवान की कृपा
Chaitanya
भगवान की
Charitamrita.
कृपा किसी पर हो
It is said that if a person has received this mercy of Lord, this person will understand about
कृपाले
Ishvara, about the Lord.
तत्व से जानिबारे पाए
In the same way,
हृदय की
you
कृपा
can say,
किसी
in the
पर
same
हो
verse, you can change and say, instead of Lord, you say
तो
Guru.
तात्पर्य
So
क्या
if
है
Guru
मनुष्य की एक ही
showers his
मूल
mercy
मंत्र है
on
कृपा
me, so I can understand this tattva
कृपा
on
ही
the
है
same way. So there is something very important for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, which is Kripa, mercy. Mercy is everything for us. So that's why every day we say Gurudeva Kripa Bindu Diya. Because if we don't receive this mercy of Lord and Guru, actually we cannot understand the meaning of the scripture. So what I'm trying to say is that Mahaprabhu,
उनकी सारी मायावाद फिलोसफी उन्होंने क्या कर दिया
through Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya
और विध्वंस
and
करके
Prakashananda Sarasvati,
वेदांत
Mahaprabhu destroyed all the Mayavada philosophy. And in this way, he established
वैराग्य विद्याम
our
युगम
philosophy.
शिक्षा
So in the end, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said in Shloka,
पुराण वैराग्य विद्या भक्ति योग जिन्होंने वास्तव रूप में कैसे भक्ति योग के विद्या भोग कैसे वैराग्य विद्या भक्ति योग ज्ञान वैराग्य के द्वारा भगवत तत्व को समझ नहीं
through Jnana and Vairagya, we cannot really understand Bhagavad Tattva. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya did this to Mahaprabhu and Prakashananda Sarasvati.
कहते सब ब्रह्म है तुम ब्रह्म होकर के तुम
He used to say,
सन्यासी होकर के कुछ विषयी लोगों के लेकर
oh, everybody, they are all Brahma. So Mahaprabhu, you are also Brahma, and you are in this form as, you are as a sannyasi, and you are like, you are with this, because this is not the duty of sannyasi. Sannyasi should stay in only one place and chant the mantras of Sankaracharya, Aham Brahmasmi, etc.
मूल मंत्र है सन्यासी
These four main mantras of Sankaracharya. So sannyasi should stay and in a place meditating on those things. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma. Tattvas, you are Brahma. Everything that you see is Brahma.
खलु इदम सर्वम खलिदम ब्रह्म जो कुछ भी देख लो निश्चित रूप से सब क्या है ब्रह्म सब
So everything that you see is actually Brahma. Everything is Brahma.
प्रज्ञान ब्रह्म
And the last one, Pragyana Brahma. The meaning, the knowledge is also Brahma. So Sankaracharya said,
अध्ययन को ये प्रभु चैतन्य
you should meditate, study the Vedanta.
जब तक वेदांत अध्ययन
Prakashananda Sarasvati also said that if you don't accept this knowledge, how is it possible that you have this vairagya?
के लिए ही चार गुण होने चाहिए वेदांत
So you need four qualities to study Vedanta. If you really want to study Vedanta, you need these four qualities.
मुक्ति की तीव्र वासना संसार में जो कुछ भी मुक्ति छोड़कर कुछ ये शंकराचार्य कहते हैं
You need to have a great desire for mukti. Sankaracharya said, if a person really wants to meditate and study Vedanta, this person needs to have like a great desire for mukti, not everything, not another thing.
और दूसरी क्या है
And the second thing, you need to be renounced from the material things of this world. Third,
शास्त्र ज्ञान प्रबल इच्छा होनी चाहिए
a great eagerness for Shastra Jnana.
क्योंकि बिना शास्त्र ज्ञान से सबका मत
Because without Shastra Jnana, you cannot enter Vedanta without the knowledge of scripture. So you need this desire, this ignorance. And the fourth quality, what is the fourth?
वो तो उनके अंदर की बात है जी। ये ब्रह्म ज्ञान की मैंने वेदांत दर्शन की वेदांत अध्ययन की वो कार्य है अधिकार अधिकार प्रकरण वेदांत
So
दर्शन
these are the four adhikaras, the four qualifications to study the Vedanta.
ये वेदांत
According to the opinion of Sankaracharya, who is eligible to study, to enter this Vedanta darshan, the philosophy of Vedanta?
राज्य मत
Who has this adhikar, this qualification?
एक होता है
According to Sankaracharya, the person needs four qualifications. First, a great desire for mukti. Second,
अनासक्त
detachment from material things. Third,
इच्छा होनी चाहिए और चौथी होता है
a big desire for Shastra Gyan, ignorance for Shastra Gyan. And fourth,
किंतु गौड़ीय सिद्धांत में क्या है
I will remember after. But for Gaudiya Vedanta, for Gaudiyas, who is eligible to study Vedanta?
जिसके लिए श्रद्धा होती है
Who has Shraddha, who has faith?
वेदांत की
Because
तात्पर्य भक्ति
who has faith is eligible for bhakti.
वेदांत की तात्पर्य क्या है भक्ति वेदेर पठित
Vedanta actually means bhakti.
कृष्ण कृष्ण भक्ति वेदांत की तात्पर्य है
The meaning of Vedanta is actually Krishna and Krishna bhakti.
ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा जब ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा थी कब होती
Therefore, the first aphorism of Vedanta is how the human being has to inquire about Brahma.
गुरु चरणाश्रय के
Tasmat Gurum Prapanina. So when you want to know about Brahma, you take shelter on Guru. So the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, after you take shelter on Guru,
गुरु चरणाश्रय हो जाता है इसके बाद सत्संग आदि होते हैं
after you take shelter and after Sadhu Sangha,
साधु संग में
through the Sadhu Sangha, you will have questions in your heart.
उस प्रश्न की
So then you will be eligible to study Vedanta, because actually Sadhu Sangha means that you will have questions, and in order to solve these questions, and also through Shastra Jnana,
शास्त्रीय तात्पर्य the significance of the scripture
through the Sadhu Sangha, you will have all these questions, and because if you don't have Sadhu Sangha, you cannot understand the scriptures. Because the shlokas in Sanskrit, they have many different meanings. So which is the appropriate meaning? We need a Sadguru, a Sadhu, a bona fide Guru to tell us that.
और विषय की संसार से वैराग्य बड़े भक्ति पर्यालोचना करने से माने भक्ति अनुशीलन करने से
For example, to be renounced for material world. When you follow bhakti, automatically this vairagya
परेशान व विरक्ति होती
appears.
है भागवत में उदाहरण देते हैं भक्ति को ही
There's an example in Bhagavatam. If someone follows bhakti, practices really bhakti,
वैराग्य संसार से विराग
automatically, spontaneously, vairagya will come.
अनासक्त सब विषाद परिभक्त अनासक्त विषयान जुझान समस्त विषय वस्तु जो है के प्रति अनासक्त है ये सारी
This person will detach from all material things. This is spontaneous of bhakti. And also, anuraga, deep attachment for Lord will also arise.
इसी प्रकार सर्वभट्टाचार्य
So in this way, Mahaprabhu
इन लोग की भी महाप्रभु उद्धार किया यह तो
delivered Prakashananda Sarasvati and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He even delivered the Shunyavadis, the Buddhists, nihilists also. Those people that say that everything comes from zero and everything will go back to zero. But actually nothing comes from zero. There is a pastime of Mahaprabhu, a very beautiful pastime, about when Mahaprabhu defeated the Buddhists. But still, some Buddhists were against Mahaprabhu. And they put a plate with meat, and they covered this plate, and they wanted to give this as prasad for Mahaprabhu. So an eagle, a very big eagle, came in that moment, and it took the plate and flew away in the sky, and it threw this plate with meat over the head of the Buddhist person. And this Buddhist guru, and his head was, smashed. He was about to die, and all the Buddhists came to Mahaprabhu and asked for forgiveness. So all these Buddhists took shelter on Mahaprabhu. They turned into devotees and started to chant Krishna's name. So Mahaprabhu also showed this lila, manifested this lila. When Mahaprabhu went to the south of India, Kala Krishna Das was with him, the sevaka of Mahaprabhu. He used to serve Mahaprabhu. So these gypsy people, those gypsy people. There was a very beautiful woman, gypsy, and this Kala Krishna Das, he liked this girl very much. Mahaprabhu grabbed this person from the choti, from the sika, and took him this. And the gypsies, they even tried to kill Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu manifested a lila beyond human being. And each one of these gypsies, those gypsies, they saw that they were fighting against Mahaprabhu, but actually they were fighting against each others, the gypsies. And also in Ramayana, have you ever seen this on TV? This lila, that actually this also happened. Those people, they were thinking that they were fighting against Ram, but they were actually fighting against each other. This Kari Dushan, they were trying to kill Lord Ram, but they were killing each other. So Mahaprabhu took the sika of the Kalidas and he took away him from the gypsy people. So the gypsies were fighting against each other. They were thinking that they were fighting against Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu purified the gypsies, the Mayavadis, the Buddhists, and he took them to Bhakti. And this is not an ordinary thing. There was a devotee of Lord Ram, and he used to chant the names of Lord every day for a long time. And when he saw Mahaprabhu, he started to chant Krishna, Krishna. And he told, since my childhood I chant the name of Ram, but when I saw you, I cannot chant Ram anymore. It's only Krishna in my tongue. And Mahaprabhu said, you were imagining that you were a Ram's devotee, but your Sarupa is as a Krishna's devotee. For example, some people do bhajan according to their mind. They worship some demigods. What to speak about worshipping Krishna and Ram? Indian people, what do? They worship different demigods, Durga, different temples. They think, who is my worshipable deity? It's Durga. Govinda Das used to worship Devi Durga, and in the end, he asked mukti from Devi Durga, and she said, "I cannot give you mukti. Only Mukunda Krishna can give mukti." Because actually, the demigods and demigoddess, they are not our worshipable deity. Our worshipable deity is Krishna. So Devi Durga said to Govinda Das Kaviraj, "Look, everybody's worshipable deity is Mukunda, so you have to worship Mukunda." That's why he chants like that. Bhaja Hare Hare. Sometimes I see the Western people, they come to India and they go to Indian houses and they see demigods, Devi Durga, and they take these murtis and they put in their houses also. I see our devotees, I see they have murti of Kali, Shiva, Ganesha, Durga. Because they come to India, they go to Indian people's houses and they see they have that. So the Western people, they imitate, they copy. They are very expert in imitating. So they think, oh, in the Indian people's houses, they see Krishna and also Durga with 8 arms, very beautiful. And they don't know anything about Tatu Siddhanta. Oh, I see in Indian's house. So that's why I also have in my house this form, this murti. And I say, no, you have to be one pointed to Krishna. You took Diksha from Guru. Why are you doing those things? You should not do those things. It's not necessary. And the Western people come to India and our devotees come to India and they see what Indians are doing. This is bhakti. If they are doing, this is bhakti. They think. Pictures of demigods also in their houses, Kali, Shiva, Durga, everybody. It's difficult to actually do Shuddha Bhakti. Mahaprabhu said, no, you have to worship Krishna. Like I told before, this devotee, since his childhood, he used to chant Rama's name. This story is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This devotee, when he saw Mahaprabhu, he started to chant the name of Krishna. And Mahaprabhu said, you were imagining that you were Rama's devotee, but this is not true. Because after you take shelter on Guru and you do bhajan, your worshipable deity will manifest in your heart in a spontaneous way. What is the supreme worshipable deity? It's Krishna. If your worshipable deity is Rama, this Krishna will manifest for you as Ram. So you have to worship Krishna because of this. If someone says, oh, but what about if my worshipable deity is Rama? Why I have to worship Krishna if my soul worships Ram? You cannot say that, understand? Because actually Krishna is the origin, is the source of everybody. All avatars are inside Krishna. Inside Krishna, all avatars are there. And Gaudiya Siddhanta says that one thing is avatari and another is avatara. Krishna is avatari, and all avatars are inside Krishna. He's the source of all avatars. Krishna himself manifested as Ram, as Vishnu also. Therefore, if we worship Krishna, automatically you are also worshipping Rama. So, if your Swarupa is worshipping Rama, when you attain Bhava, the same Krishna will manifest to you as Lord Ram. For example, inside 1 rupee there are 90 paces, but inside 90 paces there is not 1 rupee. Understand? So Krishna is like that, and to worship Krishna is the supreme thing. So this devotee, he used to chant the name of Ram, and Mahaprabhu told him, no, sorry, the devotee told Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, come to my house tomorrow. A very high devotee asked Mahaprabhu to go to his house to take prasada. And when Mahaprabhu got there, the Brahmana, it was midday, and this devotee had, there was no prasada. He didn't cook anything. So Mahaprabhu asked him, where is the prasada? You called me here, but you didn't cook anything. And the devotee was so absorbed in serving the Lord under the guidance of Sita Devi, and he said, you know, Lakshman went to the forest to collect some, what is the name? Spinach. So he didn't come back. That's why I didn't start to cook, because this devotee was worshipping Ram under the guidance of Sita Devi. And this is he was a real devotee. He was established in his own swarup. And Mahaprabhu was very satisfied with him, because when you realize your own swarup and you serve your worshipable deity, and under the guidance of your worshipable deity you do bhajan. No, this is the method of doing bhajan. So this devotee, his worshipable deity was Ram, and under the guidance of Sita Devi, he used to serve Lord Ram. He was a devotee of Rama. So in his heart, so there was another devotee in the south of India, and he was also a devotee of Ram. He used to read Ramayana, and he used to cry, and he was very sad when he was reciting Ramayana. And Mahaprabhu asked him, what happened? Why are you so sad? And he said, because my worshipful deity, Sita Devi, she was kidnapped by Ravan. That's why I'm very sad. And Mahaprabhu said, look, Sita Devi, she's Ladini Shakti of Lord Ram. Her body is transcendental, Chitsarin, and Ravana is a demon, so he will never touch a transcendental thing. Sita Devi is Ladini Shakti, so how possible Ravana will touch her? And there are evidences in Shastra about that. And Mahaprabhu told this devotee. Actually, Mahaprabhu did not kidnap the original Sita. He kidnapped the Chaya Sita, the shadow. So Mahaprabhu told this, but where is the Valmiki Ramayana is all about that, but sorry, I lost. Mahaprabhu took a shloka from Kurva Purana. He showed this because he showed the evidence in the scripture about this Chaya Sita. So this devotee accepted that only after Mahaprabhu gave this he told about the scripture. Because in Valmiki Ramayana and the other Ramayana, the evidence is not that, but this place, where the Shastra, Mahaprabhu explained, this is explained that. So the devotee accepted after Mahaprabhu told this. So when Lord Ramachandra killed Ravana, after he killed Ravana, Bibhishana, he prayed to Lord Ramachandra, please come with your wife Sitaji. And Rama was very angry, and he said, first Sita Devi has to do this fire, she has to prove her chastity in the fire. understand.
रावण भी कितना भी
But
पागल है, विभीषण ने
Ramayana
सीता
explains
को
that
लेके सुंदर दूल्हा
Bibhishan,
सजाया, कौन है? रामचंद्र के पास लाने लगे, रामचंद्र बोले नहीं, सीता जी के अग्नि के माध्यम माध्यम से आना पड़ेगा, माने
he had
सीता
prepared
जी की आग
everything very
खत्म कर देगा,
beautiful for Sita Devi, but Rama said, no, no, she has to, go into the
और
fire to
इसके लिए
prove
सब
that
लोग
she is really
रामचंद्र को
chaste.
लक्ष्मण भी आदेश दिया, लक्ष्मण तुम अग्नि
And
के
Rama
प्रज्वलित
ordered
करने के लिए
Lakshmana,
सारी व्यवस्था
oh,
करो,
Lakshman,
माने लकड़ी आदि घी आदि
prepare everything, like,
4 लकड़ियों को सब तैयार
put
करो,
wood and ghee in this
सब
fire,
हवन करते
prepare
हैं,
everything,
2-4 लाठी से नहीं,
because
लाकड़ी लेकर के 2 बार घी डालो,
they made like
खिचड़ी
a
को भी
big fire, they put wood
2-4
and
मीटर
ghee.
ऊपर आग की
It's
लहरें
not like when you do fire sacrifice. They made like a very big fire, very big fire. And Sita Devi had to go through that, go inside the fire to prove that she was
सीता देवी के
chaste or not.
बस लक्ष्मण बिगड़ गए, दूसरे की बात क्या है,
Lakshman was
रामायण
angry.
में देखो लक्ष्मण
Lakshman was
स्वयं
very
महादेव
angry.
है,
Ramayana explains that Lakshman is Baladeva Prabhu himself, he's Guru Tattva, and he's doing this pastime. And also Lakshman, he was very
लक्ष्मण रामचंद्र के ऊपर भी कहने लगे भैया ऐसे कैसे कर सकते हो, संसार
like
के
confused,
सीता देवी
like, and he asked his brother, how can you do something like that? People from this world, maybe they can doubt from Sita Devi, but you know her, how can you doubt about her? She's like my mother, she has no flaws.
अरे कोई ऐसे विवश
If you say Ravana touch her,
उनके पर्सन उससे उनके थोड़ी दोष है,
like if
रावण सभासद में आकर के
emergency period comes,
सबसे सीता देवी का हरण कर दिया, और सीता देवी के हाथ पकड़ करके अपने रथ पर चढ़ाया है, तो रावण सीता के स्पर्श किया तो लक्ष्मण कर रहे थे, तो ये सीता देवी के दोष नहीं है, वो तो रावण के थे, और वो विवाह अवस्था में
so Lakshman was saying,
और लेकर के
because that was like emergency period, it was some very different situation, not usual situation. So even if he touched her, this was not her fault.
राम के ऊपर बहुत बिगड़ गए लक्ष्मण,
If he took her, if it really happened, and if he took her to Lanka and all, this was not her fault really, because he was really mad, he was angry. So Rama said, I want to take my real Sita back. I want to take my real Sita back. And Lakshman was even more confused. What is original? What is false? Because Sita is only one. Lakshman did not understand. Look, even Lakshman was very confused about the story. And Ramachandra said, no, because through the fire I want to take back my original Sita. And Lakshman said, so there is a false Sita. This Sita here now, she's false, and you want to take the real Sita back? And then Ramachandra made Lakshman understand. He said, Lakshman, be patient. Stay there with your anger. Like patient. You are not even listening what I'm saying. Ramachandra said, look, I have 2 pastimes, 2 Leelas. Milan Lila and Viraha Lila, meeting and separation Lila. For 14 years, I stayed in the forest. And on the 13th year, I was separated from Lila. From Sita. So Jogamaya helped me to do this Viraha Lila. Therefore, the Sita, original Sita, was protected with Devi Parvati. Okay, so when the Marichi manifested as a golden deer, Sita Devi told, bring me this golden deer. Ramachandra was Lakshman. So when Sita Devi started to say many things to you, and you put this protection around Sita Devi, and Sita Devi entered in this fire. So this original Sita, through this fire, she went to Devi Parvati. When this lila happened, she went there. So actually it is said that Sita Devi was with Agni, with the fire, but actually the fire is a demigod, he's a Purusha, he's man. So Sita Devi would not stay alone with him. Therefore, by the mercy of Agni Deva, what happened? Actually Sita Devi, she didn't stay with him. No, not, sorry, translation said there is no mercy of fire. But actually, she stayed with Parvati Devi. So Ramachandra was saying, I want to take this original Sita back. So Ramachandra was saying that through the fire, he wanted to take the original Sita back, and this false Sita, the Shaya Sita, would go away. So Lakshman, then he could understand. He could understand. Although he is Guru Tattva, still this happened with Lakshman, and we can also see that in Krishna Lila, for 1 year, when he manifested as the calves and the friends, when Brahma took his friends in this Lila, Baladeva Prabhu saw that the cows, they were giving more attention to the elder calves than to the younger ones, So Baladeva Prabhu was confused about that also. He was surprised because the cows, they have more affection with the older calves, about 1 year old, and with the younger ones, they didn't want to take so much care. The cowherd men, they tried to stop the cows to go to the elder calves, but they could not do that. Because what really happens is that it's natural that the cows, they want to take care of the young ones. This is natural, but all the cows, they were running after the old ones. They didn't give attention to the young ones. So for 1 year, Baladeva Prabhu was also, he didn't understand, he could not understand this pastime. On that day, on the same day that Brahma took the calves, stole the calves, on this day, Baladeva Prabhu was not there herding the cows. So Baladeva Prabhu did not understand that Brahma took the friends and the calves from Krishna. So every day, when Krishna went back to Braj after herding the cows, all the mothers of Braj, usually they would take Krishna in their lap, and everybody would run away to take the darshan of Krishna. But today, Baladeva Prabhu saw that for 1 year, everything was happening like on the opposite way, on a different way. All the mothers of Braj, they were taking the babies and run away. They were satisfied with their own babies. They did not come to Krishna, And Baladeva Prabhu was surprised. What is happening here? What is this Maya? This Maya belongs to whom? So Bhagavatam explains. Because Baladeva Prabhu was thinking, Mahamaya cannot cover me. So Baladeva Prabhu meditated, and he could understand that it was Jogamaya. Jogamaya was doing that. That older calves, who they are, they were Krishna's Swarupa. They were all Krishna. That's why the cows, they were running after the older calves and not to the younger ones. And also the mothers of Braja, they were only taking care of their own sons, because their own sons were actually Krishna. Krishna manifested as the Sakas also. So Baladeva Prabhu thought, oh Kaneya, nobody can understand your Maya, not even myself. What to speak about the jivas of this world? not even me not even I can understand. So this is all explained in the Shastra. So we can see this also happening in the Lila of Ramachandra Prabhu, because Lakshmana is also Guru Tattva, and he could not understand
असली सीता
about the Chaya Sita and the original Sita.
जब भगवान रामचंद्र जब उनको समझाया
So when Ramachandra explained to him, then
समझे एक क्रोध के साथ
he understood,
फिर
and then he was calm, like pacified.
क्या बोले अग्निकुंड सजाया
So after that he
फिर
arranged that place, that fire, and then through fire Sita Devi came back to Ramachandra.
इसलिए भगवान की ये सब लीला दिखाई इसलिए चैतन्य
Therefore,
महाप्रभु
therefore Bhagavan shows all these leelas. So when Mahaprabhu went to the south of India,
हमारे इष्ट देवी
Mahaprabhu asked the Brahmana, "Why are you so sad?"
ये तो छाया सीता
Because Ravana cannot touch your Sita, your worshipable deity. Actually, Ravana took Chaya Sita, but the Brahmana was not accepting that. But then Mahaprabhu took the Kurma Purana, and then finally the Brahmana accepted.
और फिर चैतन्य महाप्रभु
So Mahaprabhu,
भक्त के भी अनेक स्थान पर महाप्रभु भ्रमण किया रामानंद से लेकर के
he went to many places and he met Rai Ramananda, Prabhakashananda, Prabodhananda Saraswati, Venkata Datta. Mahaprabhu stayed in one house with them. And then Mahaprabhu established that Krishna Bhakti is the supreme. And Rasa Madhurya, the qualities of Krishna are superior to the ones of Narayana. Mahaprabhu establishes that. So this Bhatta family, they used to worship Lakshmi, Narayana, but Mahaprabhu showed to them that worship Krishna is superior. He showed them all, and he showed the four extraordinary qualities of Krishna. Mahaprabhu showed all this. So Mahaprabhu went to the south of India, and he also went to demigods and demigods' temples. And when the demigods saw Mahaprabhu, they were very satisfied, and they did prayers to Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu went to the south of India, many places Mahaprabhu went. So maybe you ask, why Mahaprabhu went to these temples, demigods' temples? For example, in the Ramanuja Sampradaya, they are very strict. They don't go to others' temples. They prefer to enter in the fire and die than to go to demigods' temples. So why Mahaprabhu went to these temples? Because in this way Mahaprabhu is showing us that we have to honor them, demigods, and understand that they are servants of Lord, Supreme Lord. Because actually Mahaprabhu used to honor everybody. He told, we should honor everybody. Why? Because inside everybody's heart, Lord is there. So you have to understand the demigods as the servants of Lord. So we have to honor all of them, and we should not dishonor or disrespect anybody. We have to understand that Hari is the Supreme Lord. Hari, in this case, is Krishna. Krishna is the highest of all. And also, we have to understand that the demigods are his servants, and we have to honor them. It's not that we have to do puja of them. We have to honor them. It's different, honor and worship. So, who will be in our temple? Radha, Govinda, and Mahaprabhu. Who will keep in our altar? Mahaprabhu, Radha, Govinda. But the demigods, They are like outside the temple with the hands, the hands together. You have to keep the demigods outside the temple with the hands, in prayer position. But if you put in your altar all together, Kali, Durga, Shiva, Bhutas, ghosts, witches, everybody together, no, this is not right. But people cannot understand that. Devi Durga and the demigods, they should stay outside the altar, the temple of the deity, like a servant. Like a servant and what is the name? It's against the etiquette, the social etiquette. If the servant and the honor, it's not honor, I forgot the name. What is the name? Huh? Huh? Boss, yes, the boss and the servant is not etiquette. If they sitting in the same place, it's not possible. That doesn't happen. So we have to follow these rules. So all the demigods are servants. And Krishna, who is he? Prabhu. Prabhu and Sevaka. The master and the servant, they cannot sit in the same place. So you have to put Krishna. You cannot put demigods sitting in the same place, in the same level of Krishna. This is an offense. I told you before that the Indian people usually they don't know Tattva Siddhanta, and they also don't have sadhusanga. So they don't know this, they don't understand this. They go to the market, they see Samurti, and they put all of them in the same level, in the same place. Krishna, Kali, Shiva, all of them in the same level. And they put also only one garland around them all. One garland for them. And this is a great... No, sorry. This is an offense. Krishna has to be in the highest place, highest seat. Okay, put the demigods outside the temple, because the servants, no, they should stay there. Even in this world, we follow these social etiquettes. If you see the room of the boss is inside, the room of the servant is outside. The servant lives outside. We can see this nowadays. We see in the buildings, the buildings. Cobertura. I think it's the highest ground of a building, the last one, penthouse. There's also the servant room is separated from the boss rooms, Boss and servant, they don't sleep in the same room, in the same bed. This doesn't happen. We have to follow these rules, social etiquette. Or also, for example, like Arjuna and Krishna. If you are very high, because this is very far from us. In Dwaraka, once Narad Rishi saw it, and he was very surprised, because in Krishna's bed, Arjuna was sleeping on Krishna's bed, on the same bed. They were sleeping like one on the opposite of the other, The feet of one was on the head of the other, and they were grabbing each one's feet. Understand? Because this is a speciality of this friendship, of the Sakha friendship. This is not for everybody. Arjuna was sitting in the... In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was sitting in the highest place of the carriage and Krishna was sitting in the inferior position. But this is a special occasion. This is a special occasion. It's not that Arjuna is higher than Krishna. It's not like that. Someone gave. There's a very beautiful example. I'm telling you now. There was a king. He was a very high king, and he had a friend. And his friend used to honor the king, and the king also honored the friend. And the daughter of this friend, was going to marry. So the king was invited for the son's marriage. So the king came for the marriage, and so the son, he was the groom. He was sitting on a horse. And the bride and the groom, they were on the horse, and all the other people, where they were like in the under, what's the name? In the inferior position, you know? So are you understanding? I'm saying that the groom and the bride, they were on the horse. Who sits on the horse? The man, the bridegroom, he was sitting on the horse. And the king, where he was sitting in this occasion, he was walking behind the horse with the other people. The king was walking with his associates on the ground behind the horse. So, does it mean that the bridegroom is higher than the king? Only because he was sitting in that specific occasion. He was sitting there. That does not mean that the king is inferior. This is a very beautiful example. If you are the king and you go to the marriage of someone, so this is the rule. The king was just walking behind the horse, and the groom was sitting on the horse, on the highest position. So, is it against the social rules? This is a special occasion. Like, there should not be a different horse for the king, because the king, like everybody else, was walking behind the horse. This happens, right? When people are getting married, isn't it a common thing? Who has ever... Sorry. Anybody here ever got married or rode a horse or something? You got married? Yes. You rode, I think it's rode, so rode a horse? Yes. Yes. So even if the king was invited to your marriage, the king was going behind you, right? You're not listening to what I'm saying, are you? So the bridegroom sits on the horse during the marriage, and everybody else go behind the horse. So if the king was also there, doesn't mean that the king is inferior, and the person on the horse is superior. It's not like that. You understand? So Arjuna is a sevaka, and Krishna is a sevya. But sorry, I can't understand. But they were in this position, he was taking the horse, and Arjuna was the highest position, but this does not mean that Krishna is inferior and Arjuna is superior. You cannot say that. Only in those circumstances, you know. What I'm trying to say is that when Mahaprabhu went to south of India, he went to these demigods temples, like it is explained in this shloka. We need to know that Krishna is superior, and we have to worship him and do bhajan. And we have to understand, to see demigods as servants of Krishna and also honor and respect them. We should not dishonor them. If you see a temple of demigod, you have to see them as servants of God and honor them. But Mahaprabhu, because it's different, worship and honor, different. So, if you are one-pointed devotee of Krishna, you will not worship demigods. You will only worship Krishna if you are one-pointed. Sanatana Shisha in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, you have to honor demigods and demigoddesses. For example, when you go to Kokila Bihar, we go to Shanidev, and we also honor not Shanidev, Saturn. What? Because Gurudev told some, like, you see Saturn, Shanidev is like, sorry, I cannot explain. You should not say like, oh, I'm devotee of Krishna, I don't believe him, I'm not honor him. No, you should honor everybody, because Gurudev told before, if Saturn gives you some problem in your astrological, if he gives you some problem, then you will see. But you have to see them all as servants of Krishna. You should not dishonor them and honor all of them. Actually, you have to honor all the souls, all the jivas, even the dog. You should not dishonor him, because God lives inside the heart of the dog also, according to his karma, that he's born in as a dog, but Paramatma is inside him, Bhagavan is inside him. So we have to honor him also. It does not mean that you should hug the dog and put flowers to him. Like, it's different. Honor and hug. You will do puja of Krishna. That's why in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said that a one-pointed devotee does not honor, does not worship anybody else, besides Krishna. No demigods worship. So the Shastra is prohibiting, what is the word? Prohibiting you from worshipping the demigods, not from honoring them. So it's different when you honor you. And when you do pujan, you have an arti plate and you offer food and incense and ghee lamps. It's different, this worshipping and honoring. When you honor, you just respect and you put your hands together like that. So Mahaprabhu was teaching this, was showing this. Now it's 7 o'clock.